Okay, hi everyone. Peak Quadrant, Vitality Wellness. I'm going to shift gears and talk a little bit about COVID-19 and some supplements that I'm recommending during this time that we have in our medicine cabinet. And I also will post these on the Vitality Wellness Facebook page, as well as I did send them out by email on Sunday if you want to check your mailbox for those. And the most important thing that you could do for COVID-19 is boost your immune system through whole foods. So the way you want to think of your body is as a bank account. Every time you eat something that is whole foods, that's not processed, especially plant-based, you're putting deposits into your bank account. Every time you have something that has sugar in it, alcohol, I'm just naming the favorites, something that is ultra processed, so that's been molded, extruded, basically manipulated in some way, and that has multiple things added to it. Basically, we're looking at things that have sugar, fat, salt, that are fried, that are combined in any way. Those are those ultra processed foods. And, even cereal is considered an ultra processed food, the breakfast cereals. The one at our house, I was shocked, is some organic brand. And I looked at the nutrition information, and sugar was the second ingredient. And then when you think about the grains being pushed into the shape of the cereals, these were O's of some kind, you start to get, oh yeah, of course, that's ultra processed. We have cereal for dessert sometimes, so we think cereal is way better than eating a chocolate cake. But remembering that it's ultra processed and keeping it like, okay, that's a debit, I'm not doing myself any favors. It may be less of a debit than chocolate cake, but that's a debit. So in our house, we've been making desserts in our blender, doing these ice creams with our chocolate Arbonne protein powder and different whole foods in there. So thinking about first the whole foods and the impact of your food on your body is job number one, thinking of deficits and credits. Job number two is hydration, so staying really well hydrated. On the Power Up, we did half your body weight in ounces of liquid. And the reason hydration is so important is, number one, it's vital for life. So you die faster from dehydration than from starvation. And number two is it helps the body to flush out toxins. So it's a really important part of our immune system and our defensive mechanism on every level. And you can also mineralize your liquids as well as magnify their impact by adding different nutritionals. So the simplest way is to make broth. So you could make bone broth. I don't eat meat, but I collect bones from people in my house who eat meat, put them in the freezer, and I reuse my bones over and over again until they break apart. And then I grind them up in the blender for Teddy's dog food. So he can get some bone meal in his dog food. He only gets a little, just FYI. If anyone needs dog food instructions, I have a recipe from Dr. Fox. Sidebar, so back to bone broth. So you can make bone broth. You can also make a veggie broth. So my mom has this thing she does where she does a Ziploc bag, puts the ends of any vegetables that she's making, like onion skin, garlic skin, the end of carrots, the leaves from celery. And we started doing that after she mentioned that on our call during the Power Up, even though I've seen her do it for years. I myself wasn't doing it, but now Tony's on board. Our bag is full, and it's been a couple of days. So we're almost ready to make broth. So making broth is a great way to add nutrition. Drinking herbal teas. We are drinking stinging nettle tea every night. So stinging nettles is one of the supplements that has been shown to help basically protect against respiratory illnesses. So stinging nettles together with quercetin. I'm going to write down quercetin in the chat box because it's hard to spell, quercetin. But stinging nettles and quercetin together are both used with seasonal allergies. And because COVID-19 is a respiratory virus, they are also really useful to protect the lungs, to protect the respiratory system. So we've been drinking stinging nettle tea every night after dinner. And I'm going to also show you, hold on one second. Let's see if this is going to work. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. And okay, perfect. So on the Designs for Health website, this is through going through Vitality and then going to the Designs for Health website, I typed in quercetin, and they have two different things there. They have straight up quercetin in nettles as a capsule, and then they also have a quercetin and vitamin C. Oh, I did something wrong. They have a quercetin and vitamin C powder. So it's quercetin ascorbate. So I ordered two of those, and I have those in our medicine cabinet. So quercetin is important, like stinging nettles, to help with protect the respiratory system. But vitamin C is perhaps the most important thing that you could have for your medicine cabinet. And let's see, I'm going to shop by, sometimes my website really, really annoys me. I'm going to shop by vitamin C over here on the left. So the problem is everybody else is getting vitamin C also. The liposomal vitamin C is a liquid vitamin C in liposomes. So it actually has a different absorption from taking like capsule vitamin C. And one of the treatments that they're doing for COVID is intravenous vitamin C. So liposomal is as close as you could get to intravenous vitamin C. So you want to have that in your medicine cabinet in case anybody gets sick, and you can give them high doses of vitamin C. So because it is sold out on our website, you're going to go directly to Designs for Health for the liposomal C. You'll set up an account. I think it's going to log me right in. Okay, so you're going to say, don't have an account, register, and register as a patient. And then your practitioner code is my name, all one word. So you're going to put T Caudron, TICAUDRON, into the practitioner code. And then just like that. And then what you can do through that Designs for Health website is you can get on the wait list for the liposomal vitamin C, which we all want to do. I'm on the wait list, and just have that so it's coming into your medicine cabinet. It's going to be in production April 15th, tax day. The other two vitamin Cs are the Stellar C, which is a capsule, and vitamin C powder, a buffered vitamin C powder. And then my favorite, the C plus BioFizz, because it's so tasty. So Linus Pauling, who is a great researcher around vitamin C, was a great researcher, has some recommendations around like 2 grams per day while we're in the place of really wanting to boost our immune system. So you would break that up, maybe 1 gram twice a day, but vitamin C being a really important nutrient for COVID. Okay, so some other things that I have in my little bag of tricks, let me just go over here, is I have a supplement that's called Annatto GG, and I'm going to just pull that up so I can show you what that is. Okay, not Annatto EE, but Annatto GG. Going to go to that. And there's some really interesting research around this GG, basically part of it, that it really helps against viruses, and particularly ones that are like COVID. So in the email that I sent to you guys, I put the research around that, and Designs for Health to their employees gave them 3 supplements so to protect themselves and their family, and this one's one of them. So the Annatto GG. The other one that they gave everyone was Zinc Supreme, and zinc is just important for so many different functions in the body, and especially the immune system. And let's see if I can find the zinc on here. Here we go, Zinc Supreme. And so that's something that we're taking every day. And this zinc has 30 milligrams of zinc, but then it also has other things which, oh, there we go. Now you can see the ingredients. Has other things in it which help the zinc to be absorbed better into the body. So it's a great formula. The third thing that Designs for Health gave their employees was vitamin D Supreme. So vitamin D is also really important for the immune system. And the vitamin D Supreme is a higher dose vitamin D. And that's what we're taking in our house, is a higher dose vitamin D. So this vitamin D in particular has 5,000 IUs. And we're doing one of those per day, and just to protect our immune system. The other one from Designs for Health that I really like is, oh, I'm just spelling it wrong. So hold on one second. Let me see if I can, immunity, find the one that I'm looking for. Here it is. Oh, of course, it's sold out. Immunotone Plus. So the Immunotone Plus has some really awesome ingredients in it. So it has echinacea and astragalus, which have really good research around them. It has elderberry, which is sambucus, which is also really good for your immune system. And then this little dilly, this andrographis, there is some great research around that and viruses like COVID-19. And I included the article on that. And then it has all these different mushrooms that are also known to help the immune system in it. And then in addition to that, another one we have at our house is the silver psyllin spray. And why that's so important is that it helps to kill viruses that might be collecting in your throat. So COVID-19 being respiratory, it can start in your throat or your nasal passages and then go to your lungs. So with the silver psyllin spray, you can just spray it into the back of your throat and it'll help kill any viruses or bacteria that are lurking back there. So those are my top supplements for now. Do you guys have any questions about any of those? If you do, you can just throw it in the chat box, or you can come off mute since there's just a few of you there. And then what I'll be building for you guys is just a protocol so that you know how much to take and when and that kind of thing, if you want to do the same ones that we're doing here. Okay, Nikki says, do I recommend purchasing them all? You know what? This is such a unique question to ask yourself. So here we are starting the cleanse. So we've got the cleanse supplements. Then we've got COVID-19 lurking and the COVID supplements. So you really have to decide for yourself, like how that, whether that is a financial burden, how that fits in. I like to think of the cleanse supplements as being part of my grocery budget because those nutritional shakes end up replacing a meal or two for me. And our grocery budget is pretty extreme. So replacing a little bit of that is terrific for us. The shakes are less than a meal. But in terms of the supplements for COVID, I would say that it just depends on how exposed you or your family are, or whether you think you're at risk or not. So Tony just said to me today, hey, can we order the supplements you think for your mom? And I just talked to my mom a week ago and said, hey, I'm on the back order for this liposomal vitamin C. I want to get you on the back order for it. And so it just depends on what you want. Like at our house, there's some we're taking daily and there's some that are just in the medicine cabinet just in case. So when I do my protocol sheet, I will write that out for you guys. The ones that we're taking daily are the vitamin D Supreme and the zinc Supreme right now. We're taking both of those daily. The emergency I don't like because it has fructose in it, and adding that extra sugar I think is not good. So I personally wouldn't do that. I think it's like giving you a negative at the same time as you're trying to add a positive in. So we're doing the vitamin D and we're doing the zinc every day. The silver psyllin we have out, and yesterday Tony's like, oh, my throat, whatever. And so I just spray it in his throat. I'm like, open, and I just spray it in. So we're doing that periodically. If either of us feels any tickle in our throat, I'm also having him gargle with salt water and warm water, which is a really important one. So we're doing all of that daily. If anybody starts to feel even a little bit sick in this household, if they didn't sleep well, if they're sneezing, then I start loading them up with some of the other things. So when I do get the vitamin C liposomal, it's going to be saved in case someone gets sick, and then we're going to use it. So my strategy is like some stuff daily, some stuff if anybody starts complaining about a cold or anything that I think might be lowering their immune system, and then some stuff for in case anybody gets sick. So that's kind of where we are. Any questions on that or comments? And Holly said, if you know someone that actually has COVID, what would you recommend as the top 2 or 3? The liposomal vitamin C for sure. The problem is though that is on back order. So the liposomal vitamin C, the annatto GG for sure if someone had COVID, and the quercetin. the quercetin ascorbate with the vitamin C, because there's research behind all of those that show that it may be helpful with COVID. So, and then also just trying to keep their nutrition up, maybe through the shakes, or, you know, I've heard that people feel terrible. And so I can imagine that it's hard to keep up good nutrition, but the broths and the shakes and some blended soups and things would probably be really helpful. Okay, and then Antoinette says, the DFH products are extremely high quality and you can't get them over the counter, right? So the reason I love Designs for Health is they supply to doctors and medical practitioners. I'm able to have an account with them as a PhD. And I also do a lot of laboratory testing. And when you test for vitamin status before and after a Designs for Health product, it always changes, it always improves. When people use other brands, like I love Trader Joe's, but their vitamins are awful. So when they use Trader Joe's vitamins, none of the numbers actually move. So, so I mean the DFH liposomal vitamin C. That's the one that's sold out, and that's the one that I trust the most. So that's why if you go to the Designs for Health website directly, then you can get on the wait list for that. Okay, so any other questions before we break for today? All right. Well, thank you all so much. If you want to come off mute, we'll just do some final thoughts.